What if your life got so focused, so sharp, that people stopped congratulating you and started worrying about you? What if discipline took you so deep into your own mind that even you weren't sure if you were getting stronger or quietly falling apart? That's the level Miyamoto Musashi lived at. Not balanced, not motivated. He was something else entirely. He was a storm in the shape of a man, the undefeated samurai. Over 60 duels and not a single loss. He didn't just fight to survive. He mastered himself until every part of his life became a weapon. His strategy wasn't about winning, it was about becoming unbeatable. And in his book, The Book of Five Rings, he laid out exactly how to do it. But fair warning, this isn't for tourists. These 5 rings will not make you feel good. They'll tear you apart. And if you survive the process, you won't recognize who you were before. Let's begin. Ring 1, Earth. Face the mirror. The first ring is Earth, the ground beneath everything. And Musashi starts with a principle most people spend their whole lives avoiding. Stop lying to yourself. Most people live in fog. Not because they're lazy, but because it's easier to stay blurry than to see clearly. They think they're productive, they think they're trying. But if you made them track every minute of their day, the truth would wreck them. That's where the earth ring hits. Hard, Musashi said. In the construction of houses, choice of woods is made. Straight, unknotted timber is used where it shows. Knotted timber is used inside. Translation? You can't build anything real unless you see your flaws. Every crack, every weakness, every excuse exposed. Meet Marcus, 32 years old, desk job, thinks he's grinding. But 1 week of time tracking shattered the illusion. Scrolls social media for an hour every morning. Half the workday gone to YouTube. Email hopping and just checking something real quick. By evening, he's exhausted from doing nothing. He thought he was busy. He was just busy being distracted. And that's what the Earth Ring demands. Brutal self-auditing. Not just your time, but your mind, your energy, your patterns, your lies. Write it down. Every scroll, every skipped task, every "I'll do it later." Because the numbers don't lie, even if you do. Musashi didn't spare himself either. After his nearly failed duel with Sasaki Kojiro, he spent 2 years in a cave dissecting his mistakes. Not partying, not relaxing, studying himself like an enemy. Because that's what you are until you change. The earth ring hurts, but that pain is clarity, and clarity is freedom. Ring 2, water. Flow, don't force. Now you've seen the truth, you've pulled the blindfold off. And the next mistake is thinking you can fix everything overnight. That's the ego talking. The ego wants to look impressive, fast, so it makes big plans. 5 a.m. alarms, 90-minute workouts, new meal plan, no phone, no fun. You'll last 3 days before it all crashes. Marcus did. He jumped headfirst into fixing his life, forced a perfect schedule, pushed his body past its limits, and by the end of the week, burned out, ashamed, back to square one. Musashi would have laughed, because the second ring is water, and water doesn't care about your hype. Water flows around resistance over time, quiet, patient, unstoppable. Musashi said, water adopts the shape of its receptacle. That's not weakness, that's intelligence. So Marcus started over. Instead of waking up at 5, he woke at 6:45, just 15 minutes earlier than usual. Instead of 90 push-ups, he did 10. Instead of 3-hour focus blocks, he worked in 20-minute chunks. Small, unimpressive, but he could actually do it, and that's the key. By week 2, 20 push-ups. By week 3, 40-minute deep work. By the end of the month, natural 6 a.m. Wake-ups, 30-minute workouts, and real focused productivity. Not because he forced it, but because he flowed toward it. Musashi didn't start with real swords. He trained with wooden ones until his hands bled. Mastery isn't about heroics. It's about repetition that becomes reality. Bruce Lee said it best, don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Discipline isn't supposed to feel like fireworks. It's supposed to feel like water wearing down stone. Can't read a book? Read 1 page. Can't do a full workout? Do 10 reps. Can't focus for an hour? Try 10 minutes. Each small win is a psychological trick, a tiny rebellion against your old self. And that dopamine hit, it's not from social media anymore, it's from real progress. That's the water ring, soft on the surface, steel underneath. Ring 3, fire. Aim your anger. Now here's where most people fall apart. You're doing the work, you're making real gains, and suddenly you compare yourself to the guy at work who closes million-dollar deals, to the girl running marathons before sunrise, to someone younger, faster, richer, better. And just like that, you're drowning in self-hate. This is the danger of fire, not the heat, the direction. Musashi knew this better than anyone. His father died when he was 7. He was raised in chaos, and inside him was a storm of anger. But instead of self-destruction, he chose mastery. He took that fire and pointed it into his sword, into his writing, into his discipline. He wrote, "The spirit of fire is fierce. Whether the fire be small or big, aim it properly." That's the secret. Your anger is not the enemy. Wasting it is. Marcus hit that wall too. He saw someone crushing it and crumbled, skipped his workout, then another, then a whole week vanished, until he stopped blaming himself and started hunting his weakness. He made a nightly ritual, wrote down everything that pissed him off, skipped a workout, add 5 more tomorrow, scrolled for too long, phone goes in another room, lost focus, changed the environment. He turned self-hate into self-targeting, burned the weakness instead of burning himself. Nietzsche said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger, but only if you let it make you." The fire ring is where you turn discomfort into drive, comparison into intensity, and pain into purpose. Don't waste your fire screaming at the mirror. Use it to carve something better. Ring 4, wind. Stay hungry even when you win. 3 months in, Marcus looked like a different person. He didn't need alarms anymore. His body just got up at 5:30 a.m., 50 push-ups without thinking. 5-hour work blocks like it was nothing. People started noticing, whispering. What happened to him? Why is he like this now? Is he okay? But just when you start becoming unrecognizable, the real test begins. It's not failure that kills most people. It's momentum. It's thinking, I've made it. That's what the wind ring is about. The danger that creeps in when things are working. Musashi wrote, "In the way of strategy, do not think you have arrived." At 50 years old, undefeated in over 60 duels, he still called himself a student. Why? Because the second you feel done, you start rotting. Marcus hit that wall. He skipped tracking his time one day, then missed a workout, then another. By the end of the week, he'd undone a month of progress. The voice in his head whispered, "You've earned a break." That voice is the enemy. Musashi didn't study other sword schools to mock them. He studied them to stay sharp, to learn, to stay hungry. So Marcus made a new rule. Always be a student. Every month he'd find someone better than him. A mentor, a stranger, a creator online who was miles ahead. And instead of feeling jealous, he'd study them like a blueprint. If your progress makes you comfortable, you're not growing, you're coasting. The wind ring keeps your blade moving. It whispers, don't get comfortable, don't get soft, stay chasing what's possible. Ring 5, void, accept the eternal struggle. 6 months in, Marcus had discipline down to a science. He was leaner, clearer, stronger. His mind was different. His routines were automatic. But then, something hit him, and it wasn't physical. It was existential. Wait, this never ends. I have to track my time, forever fight distraction, every day push myself always. That thought, it broke him more than any failure. Because this is where most people finally quit. They think discipline leads to a finish line, a moment where everything clicks and life just becomes peaceful and easy. It doesn't. That's where the final lesson comes in. The void ring. Musashi wrote, in the void is virtue and no evil. Wisdom has existence, principle has existence, the way has existence. Spirit is nothingness. The void isn't empty, it's acceptance. Acceptance that the struggle never ends. Discipline doesn't get easier. You get stronger. The chaos doesn't disappear. You just move through it differently. One night, Marcus broke down, exhausted, alone, wondering why he was even doing all this. And that's when it clicked. The goal wasn't peace. The goal was power. The goal was becoming someone who doesn't need it to get easier. The void ring teaches this. There is no arrival, only practice. There is no finish line, only motion. Musashi painted, meditated, practiced calligraphy, not because it made him money or won him battles, but because that's what warriors do. Discipline, when done right, becomes your nature. Like breathing. You wake up and you battle, you fail, and you fix it, you slip, and you recalibrate. And over time the world stops recognizing you, not because you're loud, but because you're no longer like them. The truth behind the 5 rings: earth, water, fire, wind, void. They're not just principles. They're a cycle, a loop you walk every day. See the truth, adjust with patience, burn what's holding you back, never get comfortable, accept that this is forever. 5 Ringe, Wahrheit, Prinzipien, Zyklus. See the truth, patience, burn, holding back, never get comfortable, forever. That's how you become so disciplined people don't know if you're suffering or evolving. You'll look calm, quiet, stable from the outside, but inside you're waging war, and when people ask if you're okay, you'll just smile, because they wouldn't understand. If this hit you where it hurts, or woke up something you forgot you had, then this is your sign. Subscribe, like, comment. Tell me where you are in the rings right now. Earth, fire, void, I read everyone. And if you're walking this path too, you're not alone. I'll see you in the next one. Keep pushing, keep burning, keep evolving.